Apple may be readying a new Mac that it is going to sell by the millions. And it's affordable. Let me tell you about it. Real quick, if you want to keep up to date with all the latest Apple news and reviews, hit that subscribe button. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, Apple released the 12-inch Retina MacBook. This thing was absolutely insane to me just because of the form factor, and I quickly fell in love with it. I was literally editing my videos on it instead of a MacBook Pro. It was only when 4K became popular I realized I was probably going to need to give that up. The screen size was perfect, battery life was solid, and the 1.2 gigahertz Intel Core M processor was, well, that was just okay, if I'm being honest. That machine did not last long in Apple's lineup, despite having a cult-like following. Well, that machine isn't exactly coming back, but for some reason, I have this feeling we're getting close, as Apple readies its next generation MacBook Air. With multiple sources corroborating, it's said that Apple is looking at making a new, more affordable MacBook Air in multiple fun colors and is powered by an A-series iPhone chip. This was first posited by famed supply chain analyst Ming-Chi Kuo. The new machine will be more affordable than what is out there now, while keeping the same 13-inch screen size. I'd have been fine with another 12-inch screen size, but Apple has decreased the bezels more lately, so it's pretty similar in size to what it was before. Unlike with Apple's other budget MacBooks, this one will come in a variety of colors. Kuo suggests silver, blue, pink, and yellow are all currently winning out for those colors. Personally, I think I'd go with something like bright, like this old blue, like something like that would be fantastic, but I really want a red one, like product red again. I think that would look great. Let me know what color you'd like to see down below in the comments. Vote for your favorite. The biggest thing that I just want to see with those colors is actual vibrancy, like something similar to these, older iPads or the iMacs. I mentioned this is going to be an A-series chip, the A18 Pro, literally an iPhone chip. This is the first time Apple is moving chips in the opposite direction up the product line. We've seen portable devices like iPad move to the M-series chip for higher performance on the go. They're kind of like high-end chips trickling down to the portables. But now we're seeing the opposite happen. Apple's most portable chip moving up the product line to the Mac. So the A18 Pro first arrived on the iPhone 16 Pro and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. It has a 6-core GPU, one more than the base A18 chip, and 8 gigs of memory. Right now, Apple unofficially has 16 gigs of memory in all of its current Macs. All indications point to 16 gig as being the minimum Apple wants to smoothly support current and new features. So Apple could deliver us a variant of the A18 Pro with 16 gigs of memory too. Besides Ming-Chi Kuo, Mac Rumors was also corroborating this, saying that they saw source code last summer that showed a Mac with a designator 17.1 running on an A18 Pro. So being that this is an iPhone chip, what will the performance be like when powering a Mac? Well, in Geekbench 6, the A18 Pro single-core score is just below the M4 chip. Most users are actively using single-core tasks, opening apps, emails, social media, looking at photos, dealing with documents, all of that. Multi-core is your coding, video rendering, all of those more higher performance things, gaming even. The bigger difference would be with that multi-core score, as the A18 Pro is a 6-core chip, compared to the newer chips that are 10, 12 or more. The A18 Pro multi-core score is actually very close to the M1 chip that Apple literally still sells today through a partnership with Walmart. Personally, I think that's incredible performance that we could see with the prices I'm hoping Apple has this at. Speaking of which, Kuo says Apple will only sell a paltry 20 million Macs in 2025, and it wants to return to pre-COVID rates of about 25 million units by 2026. Part of that strategy is the new MacBook Air. This new MacBook Air will account for 5 to 7 million of those machines. Of course, we have a redesigned MacBook Pro coming too, but that's for another video. That Walmart M1 MacBook Air officially sells for $699, though it has consistently been listed for $649. This has always been a steal, in my opinion, based on how solid Apple Silicon is. For most people doing what they're doing, an M1 chip is more than enough, and I have no problem telling people that, especially at $649 when you're getting a brand new machine, like still sealed, not refurbished, not used, brand new. I'd love for Apple to start selling this new machine at the same $699 price point through all of its traditional distribution channels. I don't know if it will go that low though, and maybe $799 would be a more likely price point. Still, Apple has never sold a MacBook Air on its own below $999, excluding the education discount. So this would be huge at anything below that. Finally, when are we going to get this new Mac? Once again, going back to the supply chain. Ming-Chi Kuo said Apple is ready to ramp up production in late Q4 of 2025. That would put this on track for a launch in the first half of 2026, likely in the spring, if I had my guess. Basically, less than a year from right now. So let's round all of this up. To summarize, we'd be getting an even more affordable MacBook Air with the same updated design, bright fun colors, the A18 Pro chip that exceeds the existing M1 MacBook Air, and a 13-inch screen. This could fly off of the shelves. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Did I miss the mark here? Otherwise, subscribe for more Apple news, and I'll see you all in the next video.